here in the Deadlands. Alright, so we are back here in Creative, where I designed a lot of my farms, and I've been spending some time designing this log farm, and it's something I really need. I don't have a really great source of renewable wood. So this farm is based on some other design concepts from another farm, though I couldn't get the other farm to work. I either broke it, or it just wasn't working, or something. Maybe I didn't understand it too well. But yeah, so we have the leaf pressures from it, and we are updating this piston very similar to the way they're doing it over there. I know I'm just kind of pointing to nothing, but yeah, this farm works really well. It's designed to handle these three wood types, spruce, birch, and jungle. Works really well with all three. See, I got some debris around. But back here, we have a shulker box unloader system. That way we can feed bone meal into the farm, and we can look at it a little bit better back here. So we have our shulker box unloader here, and we can get into it, but it's unloading bone block into the system. And so the bone block is filtered out through this guy. Empty shulker boxes will make their way into here. The bone block will come into here, get crafted into bone meal, and then it's just sent further into the farm where it can then be used. And then we have a check here to make sure that, or to lock the farm before this chest gets full. Because if this is full and we're still crafting bone meal, the bone meal is just going to spit out. It's not going to have any room in here. So, we just check this guy here. We're using a pot here to hold this at 13. And when we jump to 14, the observer will then power the piston there and then lock this hopper. So I did try to make this one wide tileable because I was trying to get it to slide into this space, but I couldn't get that to work. So we just kind of threw it in the back here. So I figured we could do a little demonstration. We will grab some spruce, put a little bit of spruce in there, and then we need to turn the farm on. So it's going to start dispensing some bone meal. We got our TNT there. We'll look at the dirt there. Back up. And we start growing some trees. So the leaf crushers, they're working pretty well. And we have all the hoppers around to pick up the saplings, sticks, whatever. And they feed back into that dispenser next to me. And so I can just renew my supply of saplings. So I should be able to sit here and farm wood for quite a while. It's really just dependent on the bone meal. We can try another farm, or a wood type. Just do some birch here. Look at the dirt, back up. And there we go, some birch. Just gonna do the same thing. TNT's really loud. Yeah. So that's working pretty well. Okay. Alright. We'll just put our saplings back. Empty this guy out. There we go. Is there anything else? I don't have an item filter yet for all the different wood types, but we'll get them in there at some point. So yeah, we're gonna go into survival now and get this thing built. Alright, so we got our log farm done here, and it's working really well. And if I come up here, you may have seen at the end of the time lapse that this thing blew up and destroyed a little bit of the road. And yeah, it blew itself up. And that's because in this hopper we have 6 items, but I actually had 5, and it needed 6, and so this TNT was being dropped a little faster than it should have been. And so I think it shot some TNT around and stuff. But I got it shut off pretty quick. It didn't really damage anything. And yeah, so I've been running it for a little bit, and we've got a ton of spruce and birch. So yeah, we got a really good source of wood now, so don't really have to go get all that manually. And this is working pretty well. And is there anything else? I don't think so. So yeah, so I decided to place this in the corner here. If we go into free cam and kind of check this out. So I figured this was like a nice little corner for this structure, and it's going to fit in there pretty nicely. There's still plenty of room for other smaller farms. We'll probably get our sheep farm somewhere in here as well. And if I turn this on, we can see where I plan on putting the walls. So we will have a wall go up just behind this obsidian barricade or whatever, to prevent the TNT from actually damaging the wall. And over here, we'll have another wall that has a 1 block gap, just so it's not sticking to the honey block there. And if we come over here to the road, I think we're going to make this like a small alleyway. So rather than the 8 blocks wide here, we're going to maybe go about 3 blocks wide. So the wall will come out to maybe this space just outside the redstone. And yeah. And if we go over here, up on top of the road, what I'm planning to do with the storage is, since we have all the items coming out to this side, we can put like a little structure here with the storage, and so we can have a little path that goes off of this road into the building where we can gather our logs and stuff. So yeah, now that this farm is built, I think it's time to start working on the other farm. And I just need to clean up here first, probably get materials together, and then we can head out to the next location. Alright, so we have made it out to a swamp here, and I've done a little bit of setup here. And what we're gonna be building today is a witch farm. And so if I turn on mini HUD, I think that's this mod, we see that we have a hut here, but we have another one on the other side. And we may need to adjust the despawn sphere here. I think it might be a little too high, especially with the farm design that I have. But the plan is to use a shifting floor design and then use some water to push the witches into the nether. And, you know, witches are kind of handy because they use potions. And so we can actually use lava instead of water to move them through the nether. So they'll just kind of push themselves into the lava, drink a potion. On occasion, a witch will die, but it won't, really be a big deal. But yeah, the witches will make their way to or through the nether through another portal, which will lead up to here. Let's turn that off. But yeah, so I will be standing somewhere around here once we get that figured out. But yeah, so just transport them back into the overworld up here, where I can then use my sword here. So yeah, I just need to do a little bit of prep work, dig out some holes, and then we can continue maybe getting that figured out, the nether stuff figured out. Alright, so we got both of the modules here built, and if we go over here, I think it's running right now, just so we can get some witches. I think there's some down there. Oh, no. I think there's some in there. I can hear them. Yeah, there's one. Oh, why isn't she going down? That's interesting. There we go. So she's going to make her way down to the bottom, and there's some water. And we haven't activated the portals yet. We still need to go into the nether and get that stuff set up. And that's what we're going to do in a moment. But yeah, we got witches spawning now. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's turn this off. Just takes a moment. There we go. Cool. So yeah. Now I know this is, kind of a normal design for these. I think Zazuma or Tango on Hermitcraft just built one recently. And I figured, you know, let's go with that one. I was thinking about doing maybe Doc's pillager captain method, so we didn't have to use any redstone, but I just went with the shifting floor. So, yeah, alright, let's get into the nether and start getting these portals set up. Okay, so we are here in the nether, and I've moved my portal, and I've marked out where the witches are going to be coming in. So, I think what we can do is if I get some obsidian, there we go, and we should just be able to build them here and over there, and then build one. I don't know where the middle is going to go yet, I guess. So here, and here, and then there, and then we'll just start this one, or, you know, ignite it, and then go through, just to make sure it connected. Is there something on the ground? Nope. Okay, so which one should this be? Okay, I know which one. And yep, we are at the correct one. All right, so if I go back through, yep, okay. Same thing with this one. 2, 3, 4. So there's 19 blocks between here, so that just means we can probably put the portal in the set. God, we can probably put the portal in the center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it would go here. And I don't know if this one will connect properly. Create a new portal, so that's 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we got our witch farm done. This is the mob grinder here. And so if we go down, you can see we have some witches in here. And right now they're just entity cramming, so I don't have to manually farm them. So yeah, they're just standing in some water, so when they do die, their items get flushed over into another water stream down here. And that then feeds over some filters here. And if we go down there, we can see we have 6 shulker box loaders. And these first 4 are for redstone. And then we have, I think, glowstone, then gunpowder. And maybe if I go back in and down to the storage room, I can actually check out some of, of what we've got now. So we have a bunch of redstone, so that's pretty cool. So that's 9, so 27 stacks. So we have a whole shulker box worth of redstone block here. So that's pretty cool. Plus some more that we have here. On occasion, I have noticed that we are getting a shulker box that isn't completely full. I had like 4. I think I condensed it down and threw it in here. So, but yeah, ooh, we have our first one. Oh, yes, you can see like that. So that's kind of annoying. I don't really know what's happening there, but we can put the rest in here, and then take this empty shulker box and feed it back into the system. So that's cool. These last 3, we are collecting spider eyes, some glass bottles, and some sugar. So I don't really want to use sugarcane to make sugar. I guess we can also make it with honey. Um, but I figured we'll just collect it here so I don't have to do any farming later. And then glass bottles so we don't have to waste any glass making these. And then spider eyes will be great for potions and stuff. But yeah, good amount of redstone. So we should be pretty good now to just start building more redstone farms, contraptions, whatever. Alright, so I don't quite know where I left off with the last clip, but here we are, back at base, and this is all the redstone that I got. Pretty cool. So pretty happy with that. I don't need to go mining really anymore for redstone. Um, so yeah, there is one slight flaw with the farm that I can fix, but I think I'm pretty good for now. I don't really need to do anything yet. But yeah, so we're gonna start working on the last thing this episode, and we need to actually go to the nether for that. We've already done a little bit of work. We're just going to work on the gold farm, getting that updated. And yeah, so let's head into the nether. Alright, so we are back here in the nether at our gold farm. And we haven't been over here really a whole lot recently. We were just waiting on crafters to get into the game. And yeah, so I just removed the old systems and added in these two new ones. And yeah, so rather than the Ilmingo quick hopper unloader or cart unloader, we're just gonna do a one cart system. That way we just don't have anything breaking here. Um, and so yeah, we're just gonna craft things into ingots, store it away into shulker boxes, and then the shulker box will get sent up this tower here, and then sent over into like a little storage room. And yeah, so the last thing we really need to do is the shulker box unloader for the gold ingots that will get fed into the system. And I just have to go pull that out of creative, that way I can build it here, and that shouldn't take too long. Alright, so I took some screenshots. I think that should be enough here. And I'm just going... You know, I might start mumbling. So if I start mumbling, it's just because I'm focused. Good. A little laggy. Okay. So I ended up like mumbling through that entire thing, and nothing or none of it was coherent. So we can kind of talk about it here. So pretty simple. We're gonna have our storage system down here. 4 large chests. Ooh, some lag. And yeah. So what we're gonna do is when a shulker box up here is emptied, it's gonna call for a new one, and it's gonna unlock this hopper here. And so it's just gonna send a new one up. It'll get placed, or what's it gonna do first? Um, oh right. So when the one that is here empties, this is gonna turn off, turning this piston off, breaking the shulker box. And so what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is when that shulker box is, I don't know, gone, like put back through the system, I think I'm gonna have them returned to each station there. The shulker box, when it passes through like a hopper or something, I'm gonna have it trigger. Man, I'm getting a lot of lag. Um, it's gonna trigger this hopper, so it should just send a new one or a new shulker box up to the top. And so when that happens, this bit of redstone here is going to get triggered by this observer, and that's just going to extend this piston long enough for that shulker box to then get placed. But as long as that shulker box has items in it, it should just lock this hopper anyway, so that should be okay. And then gold is just going to get fed into the system here. We have our filter here, so we can filter out the gold ingots, and I think that's about all that I have right here. This little thing here, so when this chest is completely empty, it's gonna turn off the system, or these systems here, and we can't really turn them off. What it's gonna do, man, so much lag. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna lock these hoppers here, and that's the hopper just below the filter. That is, where is that filter? Can't find it. Right here. So it's gonna lock that hopper down there, and that's gonna prevent any more gold to pass from here to that hopper. And so eventually that hopper's gonna get full, and all the gold nuggets are gonna get put into this dropper here, and then just get thrown away. So I figured that's probably the best solution here, rather than just trying to shove more gold into the farm here. We are storing things into. There's no button there. Gotta fix that. So, yeah, since we're storing things in the shulker boxes, it's not really worth saving all that little bit of gold that we could use, I guess. But, yeah. So, we're still kind of getting this farm done, but kind of need to wrap up the episode now, so yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, this episode I think we got a lot of stuff done. Things that we really needed. Wood, just some basic supplies. Redstone, that's pretty handy, you know. But yeah, anyways, I think next episode we're gonna start working on the super smelter, and maybe the episode after that, oh, I wanted to zoom in. I think I'm gonna start working on a factory. I think that'll be pretty cool. So big plans for the next couple episodes. So cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. So leave a like, comment, subscribe. Bye bye.